Welcome back to watching NDTV Profits. Somany Ceramics came out with their earnings. Their sales are high by 18% at 392 crores approximately. The stock is up 2%. Profit after tax is coming at 105 crore rupees. To talk to us about the earnings, we are joined by Mr. Abhishek Somany, Joint Managing Director at Somany Ceramics. He's joining us on the phone line from Delhi. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Mr. Somany. Strong sales growth coming in. Can you tell us what was the volume growth seen in this first quarter, and can you break it down between tiles as well as sanitary and bath fittings?
Yeah, so the volume growth has been about 14% and the balance has been value. And predominantly the growth has been tiles because even now majority of our business, more than 95%, comes from tiles.
Right. So the realization growth is just 4% or so. So I want to understand where is the majority of the demand coming from? Because we speak to real estate players and they are saying that other than the lower value segment, not much is moving. Where are you seeing demand? Because I don't think the institutional side is really thriving.
So the institutional side is about 20% of our revenue, which is direct indirectly. So the rest 80% is, private corporates, government, retail, etc. Demands come from all over the country. Of course, there are certain pockets which are slightly better. Tier 2, Tier 3 towns again have grown better than the Tier 1 towns. But apart from that, the majority of the volume has come from the vitrified segment, which is glazed vitrified and polished vitrified, where our base is slightly low compared to the larger competition, the larger players, the number 1, number 2 player in the industry. Therefore, we've been able to, grow a little more aggressively there, getting a little more market share, which is due to us for our brand.
What was the EBITDA margin like, Mr. Somany, in the first quarter?
It went up slightly from 6.4 to 6.5%. But if you look at the PBT, which is what I've been saying in all my calls, that PBT is which is something which you should look at for our company, because a large part of our manufacturing or other sales is from outsource. Therefore, PBT went up about 31.7%.
Mr. Somany, what's the outlook ahead now, since you have seen some strong demand in the first quarter? Tiles business has also been doing well, as you mentioned to us. So what is the outlook ahead as far as your volume growth is concerned, your EBITDA margin is concerned, and overall revenue-wise, how much do you think you'll be able to clock in FY16?
So FY16, I'm fairly confident, and I'm maintaining the 18 to 20% growth even now. Quarter 2, tentative, because all the rains have been slightly delayed. So I think we should be able to maintain the similar growth of quarter 1, plus or minus a couple of percent. But it seems okay. But overall, over the year, 18 to 20%, we're very confident.
Now, this 14% growth that you've seen coming in the volumes, has it largely been because of the additional capacities added in the Kadi plant?
No, it's not only that. It's also because of the, like I said, the vitrified segments, both glazed vitrified and polished vitrified getting pushed.
Right.
The base is lower.
Right, but now that the Kadi capacity has come on board, can you tell us what is your utilization now and how does it compare with the same period a year ago?
So Kadi, the overall utilization of the new plant has not obviously gone up to 100%. So it's still at about 75-80%. So Kadi in total would be about 85 to 90%.
Mr. Somany, any plans to add into your capacity going forward? Now with, at least you have started indicating that there is some pickup in demand on the ground now with affordable housing and many other schemes which are likely to get implemented going forward. So are you looking to expand capacity further? If yes, then what is it that going to be? And second, what's going to be your capex?
Yes, absolutely. We are adding capacity. I think these are short-term phenomena. Every year there is a cycle of the housing, and I think this downturn in the housing and the stunted growth would remain for the next 6 to 9 months. But we do see upsurge happening and the industry changing gears in the next 6 to 9 months. So our next capacity is going to be added, which is Somany Fine, a 51% joint venture for 4.5 million square meters of vitrified tiles, which will start in October this year. And the next 4 million will start in a brownfield expansion, for which we are spending about 75 crores, which will start Q1 next year. So 8 to 9 million more is going to get added within the next 9 months.
8 to 9 million more. Any plans to raise funds going forward for this? And what is going to be the total capex now for FY16?
Our typical capex is between 45 and 50 crores. That's what is going to be maintained at for the FY16. And as far as fundraising is concerned, we have taken an in-principle approval from the board, but that's about it.
Right. Can you tell us what is the amount for which you've taken the in-principle?
We've taken an in-principle approval of a fundraise about 150 crore rupees, but nothing really has. We haven't moved ahead of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to find out from you what was the growth in exports, and it's only 4% of your entire revenues. Is there a focus on increasing exports at all?
Yes, there is, but because it's such a small base, we would be adding another 1.5% on that base, but on the absolute figure, it will be quite a handsome growth.
All right. I wanted to also understand if there is going to be a further change in your sales mix, because you said that a large part of your revenues do come from outsourced products, and that's why the margins are also low. So are you looking at producing more on your own? How soon will the sales mix
outsource
change?
doesn't have only the low margin business. Outsource also has the high margin business. So the typical mix of 60-40 would probably remain constant for the next year.
It will remain constant?
Yeah, because 4 million is being added in-house and 4 million has been added in outsource. So it will remain more or less constant.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Somany, for speaking with us at NDTV Profit and
Thank you.
giving us the